As social media is being flooded with people telling you what you should be buying during Black Friday and the overall Black month. It's become beyond a day to a week, and now it's like a month and kind of like all November and December. Anybody else noticing that? Just me? I like to say that there's enough of that content on the internet, so my channel serves as a place to tell you the opposite, things you don't need. And specifically today, I asked on my Instagram things that you were considering buying over the next week or so that I could help de-influence you from. And some of you submitted things that low-key I don't want to de-influence you from. I kind of want to influence you to get them. So we'll go over that stuff, but I want to say at the very beginning, thank you so much to the paying members of this channel. If you hit that little join button below, you can become a member of this channel, which helps me make videos like this that don't have a sponsor. I made a video a month or two ago talking about how I broke up with one of my biggest sponsors because they were bought out by a conglomerate that I absolutely do not align with. So having members on this channel allows me to make decisions like that and make more content that talks about why you shouldn't buy things instead of why you should. So I would love if you do support my work for you to join as a paying member of this channel. And there are a few perks, one of which is becoming one of my close friends on Instagram so that you get to see behind the scenes and my Instagram stories, and I ask them for specific questions. We do Q&As, all kinds of fun stuff. You get special emojis. Right now we have the first 200 members get a founding member sticker and an extra bonus video or live stream every single month. Without further ado, let's get into the things that you need to be de-influenced from. First up, we have stocking stuffers from the dollar store. Now, when I saw this, I was like, I feel like the reasons not to buy into this is really obvious, but I know that when you have kids, it's a totally different world, right? You just want to give them joy and excitement and happiness. And I say I get that. Obviously, I'm not a parent, but I do have nieces and nephews. So I understand the desire to bring them like a memorable festive experience. But I ask you, do you remember any of the stocking stuffers you got as a kid? If you participated in them, because I know like a lot of people don't. In my home, my mom participated in the 12 days of Christmas. So 12 days leading up to Christmas, we got stocking stuffers. I can't remember a single thing I ever got in one of my stockings. I take that back. One time there was like this storybook and it had lifesavers in it. I do remember that one. I talk about all the time how I came from a hyper consumerist family, so that's my background, and I just kind of tried to take a very sharp turn away from it. So the things that my mom was filling my stocking with are not things that were useful or memorable. My recommendation though is if you're gonna do stocking stuffers, to make them useful or memorable or meaningful or consumable. If we're looking for cheaper things, which is what would be at the dollar store, skip all the little knickknacks and stuff that is just inevitably landfill decor and go for something that is consumable or something that they've been wanting or something that you made, something more, I don't know, special that might be memorable. Because honestly, I know that it seems like it's something you have to do to create festive joy, but there are so many ways to create that festive joy outside of spending money on things that are just going to end up in the landfill. Beauty advent calendar. And if you know me, you know I hate a mystery box, okay? I hate the idea that you would buy something without knowing what's gonna be in it. Or I guess in terms of beauty advent calendars, a lot of times they do tell you what's in it before you get it. So then what's the excitement there? I don't get it on either end of the spectrum. And I think for me, what I've learned over the years of trying to exit my hyper-consumerism era is that as many things as you buy, they just kind of end up never getting finished. And especially when it's a bunch of little things, I feel like that's only good if you're someone who has no routine, doesn't know what works for you, and you want to test out a lot of different things. I think that it's very rare that that is a situation of why people are buying advent calendars. I think the thing that's going to happen with these beauty advent calendars is most of the things in there are not going to get used up. And I think you just have to think of it like that. Like, think about how many times you've bought a makeup product and you never finished it because you have so many of them, or you got convinced to buy the next one that everyone was talking about. Or if we're talking about skincare, think about how many times you've bought a skincare product and it actually made such a big difference in your skin. I love skincare. I do my skincare routine every single day. I'm very passionate about it. But what I've realized over the years is that there's no shortage in people telling you that this next product is the thing that's going to change your skin. I've just had to start ignoring it because it's not true, and it's really never been my experience. And I honestly think that during this time of year, beauty advent calendars, or really any advent calendar, is just a quick way to get things that are going to end up in landfill. It's like a surefire way. that things are going to end up in landfill. Everything I just said, throw it at this one too. I think overall, the thing to really think about when you think about this, and what got me out of the cycle of always thinking I needed to buy the next best skincare product, it's really rare that I buy a skincare product and actually see a noticeable difference from that product. I think having a pretty minimal, high quality, 3 to 4 step skincare routine that includes sunscreen and then maybe like an active that actually combats something that is bothering you about your skin, that's the most effective way to do skincare. Piling on more and more and more stuff is not going to get us to some point of perfection. And especially if you're comparing your skin to other people online skin, keep in mind that a lot of the way that our skin looks is about genetics, okay? That glass skin trend that's going around, yes, there are ways that can get your skin to look more smooth, but a lot of what you're seeing is just how their skin is, okay? Keep that in mind. Oh, and for both of those, remove yourself from anybody who is telling you to buy those things. I know it's really difficult if you're on social media like Instagram and TikTok. As we're scrolling, the ads are like never ending, but you have to learn how to turn your brain off to those things because there is, again, a never ending supply of things that could work for you. You have to decide that they actually don't, and it's just marketing. Now, here's one I don't want to de-influence you from, and one that I actually partook in this year pretty heavily. Well, not during the holiday season, but during other sales during the year, buying more of my favorite products on sale versus wanting to finish them first. Like I was saying, my skincare routine, because I think that's really like what this applies to, or things that you're using up a lot, could be things like deodorant, body wash, shampoo, and this applies to all of those. I personally think that if you have a routine and it's something that you have been using for over a year at this point, and you know you're going to repurchase it, which I think is the most sustainable way to go about skincare and all those sort of things, then I say do it. I absolutely did that this year. When things went on sale for 20, 25, 30% off, I absolutely stocked up. I had like 4 tubes of Dew Instant Angel in my bathroom. The only reason not to do that would be, well, for your budget. If it doesn't work for your budget, then don't do it, obviously. And the other reason is if you don't have a lot of storage space. I totally understand why, if you don't have the space for it, you wouldn't want to do it. But at the same time, think about how much money you could be saving if you bought a year's supply of sunscreen when it's 30% off. Because that's what I did. I'm not going to de-influence you from this one. I think it's a good idea if those 2 things apply. Cute gift wrapping / ribbons. Listen, we are talking about something that its effect on someone really only lasts for seconds and then it goes straight to the landfill. I will say there are ways to have cute gift wrap without them being disposable, but I assume if you're asking me this, you're talking about disposable kinds. To me, when I think about the fact that the only like moment in time where that packaging actually is having an impact is when it goes from my hands to their hands, and then they open it, and then it's over, and then it's in the landfill. And if it's one of those types of wrapping papers, and especially ribbons, that are lined in plastic, they're gonna last on this planet and in the landfill for decades, if not centuries. Is a few seconds of, oh, cute, worth that? I think no. And I personally really like the look of just like plain craft paper with like ribbon on it. I like that look for decorations or for gift wrapping, but I understand that's not everybody's aesthetic. You can still use really cute bags. You can use really cute bows. Just if you're comfortable with it. Apparently some people have really strong feelings about asking for their gift wrap back. I don't. It's not part of the gift. It's literally meant to be trash, unless it's a bag. I know a lot of people reuse those, but I also have used like lace curtains to wrap my gifts before. That is really, really cute. I have used paint to like stamp on recycled paper before. That's really cute. You can draw really cute things. There are so many options that are less wasteful than just buying gift wrap. And I just think that's a better way to do it. It does take a little bit more creativity, but Pinterest has you, okay? And I'll make a few, you know what? I'll make a few videos over on the shorts. I was going to say Instagram, but now we have shorts on YouTube. So I'll show you a few ways that I'm wrapping gifts this year that I think are really, really cute, and you can do too. This person said a new water bottle, and I don't know if you're trying to upset me, but obviously there is this weird obsession with water bottles and cups in general, it seems to be, especially in the US. We seem to have a very strong feeling about our cups. Now listen, I own a Stanley, and I know that feels like very counterintuitive for someone who talks about anti-consumerism, but I specifically bought that cup before I even knew they were a trend, okay? I didn't know what was going on. I wasn't that online at the time to know what was going on. My mom just told me like I should get one because I needed a different bottle because of the problem mine was giving me. My Hydro Flask was leaking in my front seat all the time, and I had water stains all over my car. It can start to smell bad, and so I wanted a could fit in my cup holder. If you're buying a new bottle because the one you already have has a problem, I think that makes sense. Although I definitely still think you can meet those needs secondhand, especially if you're not trying to buy something just because it's trendy. I got really lucky and found mine at the resale part of REI. So definitely check there first. And especially if you just ignore what's trendy, I guarantee you can find something at the thrift store. There is a plethora of cups and bottles and those sort of things at the thrift store. I have in fact bought the exact same Stanley I have at a Goodwill like 6 months later. So, and for me, I like to think about all the resources it takes to create a new bottle. That's usually like my drive in being anti-consumerism is whatever those materials are, the ground had to be stripped of everything. All the animals and wildlife and whatever that depend on what was on that land now have no habitat because they needed to get into the land to drill stuff out and then ship that all over the world to use so much energy to form it into what you are going to buy, and then it was shipped all over the world again, and then you're going to buy it, and then assumably the one that you already have is going to be wasted or not used. And so just to avoid all of those things, I think is my best way to de-influence you. But let me know if it worked. This person said cute shaped lamps, and I am also on the hunt right now for a new lamp for my corner because this one I bought on Facebook Marketplace that is undoubtedly made within the last 5 years is planned obsolescencing on me. The lights are, it's like a few ring lights and the lights are slowly going out from the outside. So I'm also in the market for lamps. But if you're talking about cute shaped lamps that are new, I highly encourage you to think about going and looking for things that are vintage because new things are made in that sort of way. They're not made to last. And also I find that a lot of the lamps right now that are like people are talking about, and I assume what you're talking about when you say cute shaped lamps, are very trendy. I like to think about things that I purchase if I'm trying to make a sustainable purchase. I try to think about, would I have liked this 5 years ago? That really puts things into perspective for me because right now you may love something, and a lot of the times that's because everyone's talking about it. It's the cool thing to have. But 5 years from now, when it's not anymore, if you didn't like it 5 years ago, chances are you're going to want to replace it. And you stay on this hamster wheel of always looking for the cutest, newest, most trendy thing. And even if you're not recognizing it so much as a trend and you think you truly like it, you can truly love something and it still be a trend and still be something you won't like 5 years from now. And if you've thought through all that and you still think it's worth it, sometimes those purchases are worth it. But I like to go through and ask myself a lot of questions, right? Do I already have something that fulfills this purpose? Is this something I'll like 5 years from now? Can I find it secondhand? And always trying to buy quality over quantity. The Dyson hairdryer, not for me, but for my sister. I'm not really sure what people do to justify spending as much as a Dyson Airwrap costs. I can't make sense of it. I do not understand. Some people are living in a different world than me, I think, because I pretty much always air dry my hair and then I'll use my little flippy thing to get these little flippy things. A $10 hair tool I found at Goodwill to flip my ends up like this usually. I just can't think of a reason that with all the hair dryers and all the hair tools that are in the world that we could buy already used on this planet, why we would spend hundreds of dollars on a Dyson Airwrap. What does it do that is so special that you really need? I guess is my confusion. And maybe, again, I am not in the beauty world anymore, okay? I try to remove myself from that so that I don't get caught up in the consumerism of it all because it's easy for me to do that. I am a former shopping addict, and I mean that so sincerely. So you tell me what it is about the Dyson Airwrap that everybody loves, because to me, I see the price tag and I say, oh, there is no need. Because there are also so many other curler brushes that do the same thing already before they came out with that. And I will say this caveat though, if the Dyson Airwrap lasts as long as the Dyson vacuums, maybe if you're having an experience where a lot of your hair dryers that are like, mid-range crap out really fast, maybe it makes sense to buy the Dyson Airwrap, but I don't know a lot about it. I just know that a lot of vacuums are made so cheaply and so shitty, and my Dyson stands up to the test of time. Better yet, if you can find a website that does the Dyson Airwrap refurbished, maybe it's worth it. Y'all let me know in the comments. I only feel strongly about this one because of that price tag. It seems unreasonable, but maybe there's context I don't know. And someone said a tushy bidet. Now, you know me. You know there are like maybe 4 or 5 things in this world I'm an evangelist for, and that I will literally I hate the language around consumerism. Oftentimes people will say, get this, it's the best, it will change your life. I hate that sort of inflammatory language because it really flips something in our brains. It makes us think we have to go buy it. And I don't speak that way about nearly anything except my Tushy bidet. I'm not here to de-influence you from a Tushy bidet. I honestly think absolutely everyone watching this should get one. As a matter of fact, I'm going to leave my discount code in the description for you, because every single person who has come to my house and thought, ugh, what is that? I would never use that. Absolutely not. Even my smallest minded family members who thought I was crazy when I first put a bidet in my house, tried it, bought one. Everyone in my family has one in every single toilet in their home. It's so much more sanitary. It makes life so much better. You use a lot less toilet paper, and therefore, if you didn't already know, a lot less water. People get confused about how using a bidet could use less water than using toilet paper, but it takes water to grow toilet paper. So using a bidet reduces waste, reduces water, reduces the money you're spending on toilet paper, and it's just an overall better experience. As a girly with IBS, I won't give you too much information, TMI, but I'm not here to de-influence anyone from buying a Tushy bidet. I actually would encourage you to buy one. And if they're on sale during the holiday season, it's a great time to pick one up. And maybe it's weird for me to say I can't de-influence you from that one, but I just wouldn't. I just would not de-influence you from it. I think you should get it. The automatic litter box, it's really tempting. Okay, again, they're so expensive, and that's the reason like I just would never ever buy one. But my sister has had two, okay? My sister has bought into the automatic litter box hype. And I'll tell you that when it breaks, because it has broken, she's had it for maybe 3 years, and she had to buy a second one because her first one crapped out on her. She sent it off. They made her pay for the repair and for the shipping to get it shipped to try to get it repaired. And then they sent it back and it ended up breaking. So I do fear that with technology that's happening, you know, we like to think that technological advancements will make our lives easier. And I hope that that is the case. Like, we're ascending very quickly into a very tech-heavy future, and there are two realities that could happen. Our lives get better, and we have to spend less time doing menial tasks that we don't want to do, or the tech giants own everything that we are and all of our intellectual property, and they conglomerate all of the wealth, and the rest of us are fucked. Who knows which one we're headed towards? But one of the things I'll say as we speed into this technological future is, if things are not made to last, which they won't be, because that doesn't maximize profits, and we've already seen that so much, is that with these really seemingly really convenient opportunities in tech, they're just going to break and end up costing us so much more money and be really wasteful. So I don't have personal experience with the automatic litter boxes. I just clean my litter box, but my sister has had two, and it's just expensive and can get really wasteful, and they're really hard to repair. I wouldn't recommend buying it if you could help it, but thank you so much for watching. Again, huge thank you to all of my members on this channel. If you click that button below, join, you can become a member too and see my next video that is members only. I don't know what the topic will be, but you can always suggest a topic, and that's what's really great about being a member, is I get to respond to every single one of your comments and hopefully all of your requests. So remember, until next time, you cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good that you can do. Bye, guys.